progressing through to new vistas. I'm cutting my way through a thicket towards new and secret gardens of my own design. And when we get there, at the heart of that garden, there'll be nothing but beauty.
Alright guys, how we doing? Excuse my voice, I'm a little bit sick, but I've got something really fascinating to present to you today. I've called this the Vistas of Development, and it's my incredibly autistic breaking down of philosophical development to production in the real world. So let's crack straight into it. The diagram starts from the bottom. It must be approached from the bottom to the top. This is the Socrates examined life. So you've got to look at it through the logic and grammar of a climb, starting from the very base and basics to the most external and outward flowing at the top. All of it's incredibly important, but it must be understood from bottom to top. So the base black word on the diagram is epistemology, your epistemological beliefs or lack thereof. This is your theory of knowledge, and I don't believe you can move up this diagram. I don't believe you can evolve forward without a solid rooting in epistemological belief. You can't move forward with a lack thereof. So this is categorized, as you can see in the red, with spiritual dogma. So dogma is a very important word. Your dogmas, your beliefs, those facts you hold strongly to. So what are your spiritual dogmas as it goes, and in regards to epistemology and metaphysics? So onto metaphysics. After you've accepted a theory of knowledge, you move up to metaphysical beliefs. What are your beliefs about the nature of existence and a sort of spiritual worldview? Spiritual Weltanschauung, and your first principles of metaphysics. So, is it a Christian, Christ-centric worldview you hold? Is it a perennialist mishmash? Is it a materialist, atheistic worldview? What is your worldview? What is the base that you build all knowledge upon? What are your beliefs and first principles about beliefs? And from there, this is the final aspect of what we're looking at. As you can see, the bubble that reaches from Weltanschauung to the top of the board. It's all about Weltanschauung, your worldview. What is your fundamental worldview after spirituality, including spirituality? Spirituality informs and is a very important part of your worldview. As you can see above Weltanschauung is to develop Weltanschauung. So, the epistemology, for example, is very, I think, basic. You have to take a leap of faith. And so if you're trying to figure your personal epistemology, you must look into the philosophical topic of epistemology and those who wrote about it, and eventually you will, through understanding, be able to take your informed leap of faith. But Weltanschauung is a little bit more complex because it covers far more territory than just the theory of knowledge. So to develop your Weltanschauung, which is your worldview, which encompasses basically everything, as you can see in the blue, to develop your Weltanschauung, you've got number one, experience. And then we've got historical understanding. Study history informs your Weltanschauung. Your archetypal knowledge. What is your understanding of archetypes? That will inform your worldview. Mythical knowledge. Great narrative literature. Elite theory. Economic theory and evolutionary psychology, but we've got a little star next to spiritual beliefs because that's an incredibly important part of Weltanschauung, is what spirituality do you hold to? Again, is it a materialist, atheist spirituality that will be very informative as to what you can and cannot believe? And what you can and cannot hold as part of your worldview. Are you a Christian? Many things will be heretical and cannot be part of your worldview. Or are you more of a perennialist? And then you're inviting many factors to influence your worldview. And how do you select what is perennially true or false? So that's all important, and I'm sure there are things I've missed here of different ways of developing your worldview, but these are some examples of basic ways, basic learnings and vistas of exploration to develop one's Weltanschauung. So, we've been in the blue to develop Weltanschauung, and as you can see, the arrow goes down into Weltanschauung. It's coming back to, you've gone from how to form to what it is. So Weltanschauung. From your vistas of development, from your experience and understandings of things, and beliefs in your Weltanschauung, it goes up to that, see that black line, first black line. So you've got, we'll go from right to left. You've got your political philosophy, will come from your Weltanschauung. Your grammar and logic, from your knowledge of the trivium, looking into how logic, grammar, and rhetoric work. You've got your human insight, your knowledge of people, and your women insight is very important for a man to understand the fairer sex. And your self-knowledge, very important. And furthest to the right, in green, you'll see your values, your ethics, and your teleology, the final ends of your philosophy, which will come from your worldview. Now, as you can see, the black line portends upwards with green lines, and that is as you go from your grammar and your logic and your knowledge and your worldview towards your rhetoric and your output, and what you do with this base. So, for example, the values, ethics, and teleology. That is how you live your life. You will live your life by ethics, values, and teleology if you have any. And they come from your worldview. So, from your political philosophy, through the study of rhetoric, you will develop a political rhetoric. From your grammar and logic, you will be able to develop a general rhetoric. Well, I should say that rhetoric is something to be developed of itself, but your rhetoric will be informed by your grammar and logic. From your human insight, your understanding of people, you will become a leader with rhetoric. You'll have to speak in order to be a leader. A leader can take many forms: a head of a family, a political leader, a leader of men, a leader in tumultuous situations. Once you've developed your human insight from your worldview, you can then go on to become a leader through rhetoric. And then you've got your women insight, following, which can be followed by your women rhetoric. So this would be your skills in finding a wife, PUA skills, pick-up eyes skills, how you speak to women, and understand women. So then you've got finally your self-knowledge, which I've branched upwards to self-development, because we're all born certain ways with a lot of unconscious, and to develop yourself is either to add more gravitas to yourself or to understand what you are and develop your understanding of yourself. So from self-knowledge, self-development, the more you develop yourself, the more is under conscious understanding. We develop ourselves through experience and hardship. These are devotional activities. We devote ourselves to our mission and our purpose and our development, and we go through experiences and hardship. For example, the breaking down of the body, whether in lifting heavy weights, in bodybuilding, or MMA, mixed martial arts, and fighting, consciously choosing to put yourself in a position where your body is under immense stress to become stronger. The ideal man is an artist, a philosopher, and a warrior. So that warrior aspect is incredibly important. And then you've got production. So your devotion and your production. So a philosopher, an artist, and a warrior. Your production, your art, we are what we produce. Is very important that we are not just plain consumers in the world. We must produce value. It's what we're here for. If we don't produce any value, then we were a blip in existence, and I don't think we fulfilled any part of God's plan if we didn't produce anything. So what can you produce from the land? By your hands. What can you produce from your mind? Books, art. Yes, that's also from your hand. What can you produce of means? So money. Will your production through your land or your hands or your mind produce you money? If not, that's another very important aspect of production, is the means to sustain yourself, the means to sustain your family. This is consistent in life. And then finally, what can you produce of men? So if you have all of the elements in this tree, this ladder, well developed, you can develop and spread that fire, that spark in others, and develop men into great men, or develop children into adults. What is your development of people? So there you go. I hope you found that interesting, and let me know what you thought. All the best.